Sentri, and as you can see, it's quite a party here. And so today we are going to be talking about Sentri's overall product. And so by product, meaning kind of like not just a hardware aspect of it, but the entire experience behind it. And so my name is Ray Hsieh. I'm one of the co-founders at Sentri, and I'm joined today by Ray Hsieh and Ray Hsieh, who are our product and engineering leads respectively, as well as Raphael Lin, who's one of our awesome backers. And so to kick things off, I'm going to hand it over to Ray, who will talk to us a little bit about kind of like the general product philosophy and some things that you can expect from us in the coming months.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Wendy. Okay, hello everyone. This is Ray. So today I'm going to talk about a little more about our product experience. So as Sentri, we believe that our product experience has always been about delivering a simple, a secure, and also an intuitive experience. So over the last couple months, our growing software team has been working on developing a software architecture to support this. So it covers areas such as like event recognition and also the logging, setup, and data processing, and also like the video streaming. So for us, we believe that data in this context include everything from a change in temperature to the videos we stream, and to our users' mobile phone. So so today I want to cover a little bit more detail regarding the something of the software change when we announced the touch screen in a couple months ago. So at that time we revisited all the software flows and made adjustment according to like make sure the experience is smooth and still makes sense. So because Sentri now have touchscreen, we think that there is a greater flexibility in what we can do on Sentri. So including like displaying like a key information, such as the basic like sensor data trending in a home's microclimate, and also like changing theme directly from the Sentri, since there's input on that. So here I would like to share you something a bit more regarding the UV experience that we have done for the Sentri. So let me share my screen. Okay.
Cool.
So the UV experience, so the UV and the out-of-box experience is quite simple. What we want to achieve is we want to have most of the people. I will say even you are not a technical expert, you can still finish the process like within 5 minutes. So and if you do, and if you are an expert, I believe that this process you can you can finish them like in like 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. So the first step is like we will show you like the home experience when you boot up the Sentri. So here's a welcome home page. So what we are going to do is you will be guided to set up the Wi-Fi network of your home. So to let your Sentri device hook on the internet. So it's actually we scan all the all the SSID, all the Wi-Fi signal around your place, and we'll sort it then by the signal strengths. So we believe that the one at your home should be the strongest one. So we will place that in the first place. So you will need to like enter the password, and also after we will after we get the password, the Sentry device get a password, you will connect to the server and do some communication, and that's it. So then you will need to like name your Sentry. So just like you place in the your living room, so you can name the Sentry like my home, and the location is the living room, and that's it. So it's actually quite simple. So like well, I will say it's less than 5 steps. So you actually can finish that within a minute. So this is the Sentry part. So how you hook up your mobile phone with your Sentry? So download our mobile app from Play Store or App Store. So this is the first page. You just sign up your email and log into that. So and then you'll be guided to like this page. So this page will actually like search the available Sentry in your home network, and it will list out all the Sentry device. So you just pick anyone that you haven't paired with, and you just done. So it's actually very simple. So this is what our software team is trying to make this experience as simple as possible. We don't want to having our user to setting up many tiny things in this experience. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Okay. Ooh. So the next one I would like to cover is more about the event detection. So since Sentry by default building lots of sensor, including PIR motion sensor.
Wait, hold on a second.
Okay.
Your screen is blacked out. Maybe you just switch the window.
Okay.
Yeah. So you need to select the particular window that you are sharing.
So is that okay?
Or a video. Yeah.
Yeah. Right now it's a can video. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So maybe you need to assign a window you want to share again.
Are you sharing a screen right now?
No, I'm not sharing a screen right now. So I'm
okay.
talking more about the event detection part.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, so Sentry by default building lots of sensors, including PI motion sensor, temperature, humidity, air quality, accelerometer, lots of that. So we also incorporate these sensors with the geofencing technology. So Sentry could offer the user a safer and a more convenient way of living. So here I'm talking about what's the things that Sentry could detect. So the first one is I'm going to talk about the geofencing technology plus the motion detection. So so here your mobile phone plays an important role while we're talking about the geofencing technology. So when user brings the smartphone and walk away from his or her place, so Sentry could automatically knows that you are away from home and entering into a mode which we call away mode. So this mode, when this mode is on, Sentry actually this will brings out the motion sensor to work as a guard, and alerts the user if there is any motion detected, and we will notify them through to the smartphone. So in the meanwhile, a snapshot is also taken as a record. So all the information are packed for viewing when user they come back to the event by viewing the event page in our mobile app or even on the Sentry device. So so user could call like 911 or neighbor for some emergency help after they see the snapshot, or they can like flash the light by remote controlling the integrated smart lights, like maybe to scare the burglar. So here, since Sentry integrate with like built-in remote and also the field hues, so this is what user can do regarding the motion detecting right now. And of course, they can always enable the real-time video streaming to check back what is happening at their place. Okay, so
that's going to be in the SDK as well, right? Like in terms of event detection.
Yeah, that's right. So the event detection that I'm talking today will be part of the SDK or API that we are going to have the beta testing on July and August. So this is the first one that we will offer to the software developer. Yeah. Okay. So the next one is the geofencing technology incorporated with the smart device integration. So so here it is commonly seen that like people often like forget something when they away from home, work away from home. So sometimes it's not a big deal. Like if the light's still on. But it comes to me it comes to a problem when it's something like regarding the like air conditioner or something. So so it happened to me one time that my air conditioner just for some reason is turned on automatically when I'm away from home. So and of course, at that month, I paid the bill for that, which is incredibly expensive than before. So we think that by like incorporate with the geofencing technology and smart device integration, we can know the device status of your home, and if when you walk away and there's something still power on, we will send you the notification to remind you like if this is something that you forgot to do, and you can always like decide if you want to turn it off or leave it on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, I think that's really interesting. So basically what you're saying is that smart technology is more about kind of taking all of these different pieces and putting it together in a way that provides like contextual and relevant information. And so it's like having all of these sensors work together to deliver a smarter and safer home.
Yeah, that's true. So I think this is what we are going to offer the user. So we want to the overall experience is simple. So actually, user, you don't have to worry about any like settings of your home. Like you want to monitor something, some lights or some like devices. You don't have to do like many complex settings, I will say that. So what we are trying to deliver is you just power on Sentry and Sentry do the smart things for you. So I think this is what we want to deliver, the overall experience of Sentry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I guess also like on the SDK front, one thing that could be done, like in kind of like along the same lines, is like say if you were doing a lock screen app, like technically a develop or like someone could take kind of the event information from our SDK and put that and show that information on somebody's lock screen. So it's like you always have access to like your home's like say environmental stats along with your calendar right there in front of you.
Yeah, yeah, that is possible for the integration. I think we believe that more like a developer could create like many like innovative like application by integrate with the API that we offer to them. So I think I'm glad I'm very excited about what's going to happen when we announce the SDK. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Okay. Cool. And also, okay. So the next one that I'm going to talk about is the thermal comfort. So imagine that your place when you have a baby or elder, you may want to offer them a better living environment. So in terms of the like temperature and humidity. So Sentry detects the temperature and humidity of the place and like analyzes the thermal comfort of the place and provides suggestion. So for example, when user like turns on the electric stove in winter, so the indoor will become warm, but after a while the humidity will drop to a very low level. So at that time, the user will feel very dry and uncomfortable in general. So especially when you have a baby or elder, they may not provide you the like the feeling that how they feels. But actually, Sentry could like by detecting these and offer you and remind you that okay, you might to do some change in your environment. So we spent some time to investigate how Sentry to like learn what is the best temperature, humidity that I would say that over 80% of people worldwide live with comfort. So we have that. We now we have that technology. So Sentry could actually like detect in real time. So when the temperature, humidity that exceeds that comfort area, so Sentry could detect that immediately, and also like notify that to your mobile phone. Okay, so now user will have more clear information, and like knows better how they should adjust the like air conditioner, or to work on the like most energy saving mode with comfort, or they can like set the electric stove with a humidifier at the same time to make the room feels better. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So next one, I would like to talk about the air quality. So Sentry embeds the air quality sensor that measures a space volatile organic compound levels. So so the VOC, the volatile organic compound level, the VOC, are the elements that commonly appear in the, I would say, the home or business environment, and are a combination of fumes emitted by things such as like furniture, pans, plastic, and so forth. So over a long period of time, users like who are exposed to the high concentration, they may experience like headache, sore throats, respiratory respiratory problems and irritated eyes. So we believe by understanding the unique VOC composition of any home or space, like user can like take the appropriate step to create the most comfortable environment possible. So Sentry Learn was considered normal for a place, and we will alert user when we like sense something abnormal. So user could know that, and they can do some they can take action like open a window or like turn on the air condition to adjust the VOC level. Yeah. Okay. So, and of course, and for this, this is also available through our API, which the time frame is on July and August. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
So I think one of the questions that always comes up is around kind of like device interoperability and what type of devices that Sentry is going to work with. So can you kind of like cover again like which devices we work with at launch now and what the thoughts and roadmap looks like for future device integrations and how third-party devices can also work with Sentry in the future?
Okay, I think the problem is, well, I think I will say the feedback is we hear from lots of our backers to ask for the integration with other smart devices, right? So just like LibX, Tado, Lightwave RF. So lots of smart device that we hear that is in our in the wish list. I would say that. So for the current status, we will support like Philip Hue, Belkin Wemo, Nest, and Luckytron. These 4 devices will absolutely support for sure. So and we do listen to the voice from our backer, and we do have plan to expand the smart device control experience by supporting more and more devices in the market. But I will say that we our software team discussed internally, and to have this to be more efficiently like expanding the overall smart device experience. So we think that to like spend resource on developing a framework for the software developer, or I would say the smart device vendor, to for them to create a Sentry plugin, so they can put that plugin to integrate to the Sentry devices, and the plugin could integrate with the third-party devices that Sentry haven't supported. So we believe that to incorporate with the power of community, so this could help Sentry to expand the overall interoperability experience faster and more efficient. So we are internally like planning on having this framework, but this framework will not available until we ship our product first. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So basically, the idea would be that like third-party device makers can also just automatically plug into the Sentry framework at time of shipment. Basically, when we ship, we'll be able to kind of give them that ability to do so.
Yeah, right. But what we're doing, we will define the common interface, like including how Sentry to search the smart device locally, and how Sentry pair with the device, and also control the device, and like get the device status change. So we will define these interface, and the third-party vendor could could just follow this interface, and they can develop a plugin, yeah, and put that into the Sentry. Yeah.
Cool. And then I think that actually, Raphael, do you have any questions around kind of like the SDK API component while we're on this subject?
I do actually. On the Sentry screenshots, they show the app icons. I was wondering if the SDK kind of like, if we were able to create apps that run on the Sentry device itself, or if it's more like a mobile app kind of thing.
Okay. So you mean the app icon that that Sentry could offer to the.
Okay. Is it writing apps to run on the Sentry device, or is it more just accessing the data off of the Sentry device?
I think it would be both, but I'll let Ray take that. So basically, like, will the SDK allow developers to actually build apps on top of the Sentry device? So like you can see your calendar, for example, from like Sentry. So not necessarily just accessing the data, but also being able to build an app, like for example, the party mode app that like we did like a quick hackathon around, where you could turn Sentry into like a media center by like launching a party app.
Yeah, so I think the question is like what Raphael asked is like can we just write an application and run on Sentry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, like and like if the SDK will allow for third-party developers to also write applications on top of Sentry.
Yeah, you know, this question we had discussed a lot within internal team, and we have two different kind perspective to this question. And one is from like we need to protect this kind of a device from others to install app on that because of the security issue. And the other one is tend to like open everything to all the users. So then for users who can easily to install apps on that to create a lot of possibility on what Sentry can do in the future. So we cannot get the consensus right now here about this question, but yeah, we'd like to hear more from you and from potential developer on Sentry. So what do you think? What do you think? What kind of the possibility do you want on Sentry? You'd like to write app to be run on Sentry, or yeah, you'd rather to like a library, or you can write a gadget on a Sentry. What kind of is your preference?
Well, being a mobile like app developer, it would be, for me, it's interesting to write stuff on the Sentry device.
Yeah.
But even if it's something that runs on the mobile app, and I can access the data, I think I could do some interesting stuff that
okay. Yeah.
actually works with those.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
I think I would like to talk a little bit more regarding the theme customization framework. So I think this might be something that the developer could actually put something on the Sentry device. So what we currently plan right now is since that Sentry offer the theme customization framework, a theme customization feature through the we'll say it's the HTML5 framework. So we think that it is much easier for the software developer to really actually customize the theme style they want. So since like JavaScript, the HTML5 is very popular in these years, and we believe that it would be a piece of cake for the user to create more theme of that. So I think this is there is a potential chance that we could extend the HTML5 framework. I would say that to extend the theme customization framework, since we use the HTML5 technology to do more things on Sentry. So as you can see that the dashboard of the Sentry main screen, we offer the user to showing the time, the sensor value, the weather. These are all interfaced with the between the Sentry theme and the Sentry sensor framework. So I believe that when we extend the HTML5 framework we offer to the user, they can actually do more things on Sentry. So I think this is something that our software team could keep planning on that and see if this is the one of the direction that we can offer for the software developer. Yeah.
Yeah. As long as I can make use of that display and be able to display emails or calendars, those are the kind of things I'd be interested in being able to do on Sentry. Because it's got a display,
Yeah.
I'd love to have it be up there where, I can just walk by and see what's on my task to do for today, or what did I want, or what do I want to see, or what's most important, or here's my grocery list. Those are the kind of things I think would be really cool to me personally. And so if I can just display anything on Sentry, that's cool.
Yeah, it's good to hear the feedback like this. It also leads us to another question: that do you will be worry about the privacy issue? For example, the Sentry could be hang on the wall of your living room, right? And if the house is not live on, you are not live on your own by your own yourself, and you could have your parent with you, maybe children with you, and maybe friends with you. Will you be worried about that your information be displayed on the Sentry that everybody can browse?
As long as the information isn't stored in the cloud or anything anywhere, I don't think I'm that worried about it.
Okay, so your personal calendar and events, it's also okay?
Yeah, if it displays on there, I think it's fine.
Okay, cool.
I think a lot of it comes down to choice at the end of the day too. So it just depends. And I think one of the things that's really interesting and what makes Sentry so unique is that it's both a private and kind of semi-public device. Yeah. So there are certain elements that you can share with your friends, your family, people that you have in your household, but then things that you can also keep personal on your, say on your mobile device. And so kind of on the application layer of Sentry, I think a lot of that will also be mindful of say you can have a shared family calendar or shared household calendar, which would be perfect to display there. But then for some people you may choose to not have your personal calendar there necessary for an individual. So there's a lot of different use cases, and I think one of the things that's exciting about APIs and SDKs and actually opening it is seeing the type of possibilities that come and the type of imagination that can come to bear in that type of environment.
Yeah,
so.
The simplest thing that I can think of an app developer would be able to do with Sentry is to use it as a photo frame. It's kind of like a smart photo frame. And so, as long as you can use that display, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, actually, do you want to talk a little bit about the themes and kind of how you can customize that, Ray? Because I think that's actually one of the key applications out of the gate is kind of this smart photo frame type of mentality.
Yeah, for sure. So, just like what I say, we we want to offer the theme customization for those like software developer. They can create their own style. So, but back to it's kind of a like complex task, but since our design principle is to deliver a simplicity experience, so we survey lots of like technology, and we think that currently the HTML5 technology would be the best one that covers the like easy to create the ability of easy to create new themes, and also like create like digital frame feature on Sentry. So so what's the plan right now is like Sentry will like embedded a view that which is compatible with the HTML5 technology. So we will offer the software developer to through the web to like create HTML5 framework. So to create HTML5 based theme. So we will offer like some predefined structure. So like you will have like a fancy video in the background, and also the sensor information in the foreground. Or also you can like create a custom cloud face on the Sentry, and also you can like create a digital frame. So you can pick up you can choose the photos. You can hook up with your Instagram account, and it will Sentry could like automatically switch between the Instagram photos Sentry. So I think this is what we are going to offer for our backer. So we are building the framework right now, and we are planning on the web experience that the software developer could do. But the time frame that we currently plan is about the late at the late August. So we will have more information update in the in our later Kickstarter update. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys are worried about opening up the device, like making it too open, the simplest way for me as a developer to be able to make use of the display would be to have something hosted kind of like an FTP server where we can upload images and videos to the Sentry device, and then it would auto-detect in that directory and say, hey, here's new images, and just do a slideshow. Because then I can always upload whatever I want to show. So it could be like today's calendar kind of pre-rendered as an image, and I upload it to the Sentry device, and then it would show it. And so that would be a way to make it so that it's not too open at first as a platform.
Yeah, it's also a good feedback from you, something like this too. So what you are saying is like open an FTP or some sandbar, then you can directly upload a photo on that, right?
Yeah, or you could make it like linked with Dropbox, so that anything in the Dropbox folder is like the Sentry's displayed files thing.
Yeah, there is an idea from other bakers, like maybe we can link with some social media, some social media photo like Instagram or others. Then you just log in with your account, then we can randomly pick a photo from any tag you assign. Then we will rotate all the image from that tag directly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so from the bakers, they think this could be make it more easier for normal user rather than the technical people, right? For them to to get more easily on the app to assign maybe and tag, so that we can randomly pick the photo directly from that, so they don't have to operate the FTP or sandbar.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but yeah, it's great. It's also a very useful feedback from that. Yeah, maybe open an FTP so that you can directly put all the files on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if it's not an FTP, at least we could link a Dropbox to
Sure. Yeah.
one of the folders. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like any way you can link it with another space like a Dropbox or maybe others online file hosting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because then it would check for all the images and videos that are in there.
Sure.
And so if I wanted to do a personal calendar app, then
Yeah.
I could have it render and just upload the latest calendar onto that folder.
Ah, okay. Great.
Cool. I think that's a very good feedback that we can think about, like incorporate that idea into our software. Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe we can share with the like Android share API, so you can when you get the image from friends and you'd like to put it on Sentry, so you just share it, and via the Android framework you can select the maybe Sentry mobile app. So when the mobile app get this image, then we can put it directly onto Sentry, maybe something like this. Yeah. Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Great.
you could even like get music to it or like recording.
Yeah, this kind of feature we are also think about like there are feedbacks from backers they like to use essentially like a video, like a video player or like a radio, something like this. Yeah, but honestly, we are trying to study on that currently. Yeah, but for sure, yeah, since Sentry also got a hi-fi speakers, so yeah, it's also one of the possibilities we can do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So cool. And I think that like there's also been kind of questions about like kind of coming through about like if support. So Ray, I think you had mentioned before that like that would kind of like with things like if this and that would be something that the SDK would support later on as well, right?
Yeah. So I think for the if support, based on our understanding of that, so we think that Sentry could be one of the source of the if. So since we are working on our SDK first, so we will offer the like event notification to the developer. So once we've done that, we think that there's only like one step away to support it. So I think we will put our resource on our SDK first, and then we will think about to communicate with it to have like Sentry on that.
Right, but I think that like if still requires like programming on a user's behalf, where you have to kind of say that like, oh, I want to have, if this happens, then that happens essentially. But then like we also have like kind of the personalized alerts aspect of it and kind of the learning aspect of it. So can you talk a little bit about kind of like the type of personalized alerts and like how that might like even that might be a solution for the type of problem that like IFT is addressing too?
Yeah. Okay. So for the IFT, I think most of the people they would like to like create the recipe of their life. So they may like saying that okay, if I'm away from home, help me like turn off the light. So I think for this kind of recipe, I think Sentri, we claim to have Sentri to done that seamlessly. So we ultimately don't want user to spend their time to create their own recipe. I think the ultimate goal of Sentry is we did that in the background for you, so you don't have to spend your time thinking about what you are going to do by leverage the it. So this is the ultimate goal that Sentry want to achieve. So I will say we will focus more on the seamless experience than the if support. I will say that. Yeah.
I see. So it's basically like we kind of almost like leapfrog it in a way in terms of like we anticipate what users would need.
Yeah, that's
correct. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, we are curious. Like, does this make sense to you? This kind of feature regarding the if support and what we are going to do.
I think so. Yeah. I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Because it's like you're pre-building the if recipes for users to use.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah, so I mean, I think one of the things is just more that like it will learn over time kind of like what you are most interested, or like the type of alerts that you're most interested in.
Yeah.
And then I think that there was also kind of like some questions just around, I know that like we're coming on kind of like the close of the hour here too, but on just around like kind of timing and what some of the steps are. And so last month we had Rico actually kind of gave an overview from a hardware perspective, which included kind of manufacturing timeline. Rico, do you want to give us a quick update about where it stands?
Yeah. First of all, that regarding the next month's update that we said about, it could be a delay because of the TPM switching. And yeah, it's luckily we have the direct support from the TPM vendor, and they are very supportive regarding the cover glasses. They try to make it more stronger, prevent from crack, from dropping. And we will have the first sample in 2 weeks, so then we can do a quickly review on that sample. So the directly impact on the timeline would be less than our guess. So in the previous announcement, we said that the shipment could be delayed to September, but I think we can do better with this. So it could be in the August, or maybe we can still we can hit the July for sure. And for the more clear idea, we will know when we receive the first sample from the TPM vendor. Then after all the drop-in tests and all the performance tests on the touch panel, then we will have the more accurate guess on the timeline of the hardware shipment.
Okay, awesome, thank you. I think just like another thing that kind of has been a question is more kind of like about the QA process, right? Like I think yes, getting hardware to that point is part of the equation for sure. But like, what is kind of can you give us an idea of like what the QA process is like, and like how maybe like product and engineering works together in ensuring kind of that seamless, simple user experience?
Yeah, you mean in terms of the hardware part or software part?
I think both. So maybe Rico, do you want to start? And then like I know Ray has thoughts on this as well in terms of kind of like the process that he has kind of set up with the software team.
Yeah, right. In terms of the hardware part, and we have the 5 testing engineer on the production line. And for each batch, in each batch, we will make like 30 to 50 sentries from the production line. And for each one, we will perform all the tests, like performance test and also the drop test and the sustainable the power sustainable, and if they are in a package, could they be delivered to the customer with the perfect condition? So each of the Sentry will be performed on all that test. So we will lose all of them during a test, because we need to put them on a very high shelf and push a little bit to let the Sentry directly drop on the floor to see if that breaks. So eventually we will lose all of them in every batch. So we will lose like a 30 to 50 Sentry during all the production stage in EBT and the DBT. So currently we have five engineers on production line to help us to perform all the hardware tests on that. So yeah, that's most about the hardware testing process on the factory side. And for our own side, we will receive 10 Sentries from each batch. So currently there are 10 Sentries on our hand. And for myself, I'm testing regarding the Wi-Fi signal strength, Bluetooth signal strength, and also the performance on LCD. Could LCD be seen in a wide angle, and how is the performance of the camera? Is that the image capture from the camera clear enough, and the PCB heating is acceptable? Yeah, it will not impact the built-in thermostat. Yeah, something like this. So I would say for each batch in the factory, there are 5 engineers helping over there. And for our side, yeah, we have 2 engineers inside the Sentry team. We are also perform all the tests on Sentry. Yeah.
So basically, I guess hundreds of Sentries get tested before something.
Yeah, yeah, right. In every batch, we will lose every one of them.
We will learn from every one of them.
Yeah, we will learn from everyone.
Yeah, very cool.
Okay, so regarding the software part, I think it's pretty much there's a standard process on how we do the software quality assurance. So we will writing the unit test for each function, and also define the overall test define the test procedure for the overall experience. I think this is pretty much standard in the software development. So, but what I would like to cover is we will also have a beta user to test the overall Sentry smart algorithm. So this means that once we have the we will have the hardware sample, and we will put on our software, and like having a beta user to use that, and we will like test like the something the event notification that I mentioned today, if that really works, and we will also incorporate with these beta user to test out the overall usability, the user experience, if that is pretty much like simple and also like smooth, like that. So I think the beta user testing is I think it's the most important things regarding the QA process. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Raphael, do you have any more questions or kind of like any thoughts?
That's it for me. Yeah, this is actually really great information for me.
Okay, awesome.
Awesome.
That's great. Yeah, so we're going to try to do these kind of like on a monthly basis and give everyone a chance to kind of like ask general questions, but then at the same time having some type of theme or topic to focus on. And so kind of like with this month, what we wanted to do was really kind of dig a little bit deeper into that product experience, and like Ray was able to share a couple of the screenshots from our updated Ubi experience, and kind of like a little bit more of like what to expect from things like the SDK. And we're actually also doing user testing here as well in terms of kind of the new interface. So I will be posting the link to kind of like our usability kind of like testing survey along with the broadcast for this video. So if any of you are interested in kind of like sharing your thoughts or kind of taking a look at like what we're thinking of in terms of the overall experience, please do fill that out. And those will be happening in San Francisco as well as in Taipei. But thank you guys for kind of like your time, and thank you, Raphael, for like joining us today.
Thanks.
And hopefully we'll be able to chat again soon, and you'll be able to join us next time.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ray.
Yeah, thank you, Rafael.
Thanks.